A few days ago, Bugatti dropped a bombshell. They hinted at potential legal action against Matt Armstrong, and then they went completely silent. No clarification, no follow-up, no explanation. That's strange because other people have rebuilt crashed Bugattis independently, freely, without lawsuits, threats, or pressure from the brand. So the real question is this: why is Matt Armstrong's repair different? And why does Bugatti suddenly see him as a threat? The answer is simple. Matt exposed what was never meant to be seen. For years, Bugatti publicly claimed every car was fully bespoke, that all engine and motor components were designed specifically for each vehicle, that no two Bugattis were the same, and unfortunately, most ultra-rich buyers never questioned it. They didn't look closer. They didn't ask for proof. But everything changed when the part numbers were exposed, because now Bugatti has been caught lying. And that lie is starting to look a lot like fraud. Before we break this down, hit subscribe. Because this story isn't just about one YouTuber. It's about how one of the most powerful car brands in the world protects its image. Now let's rewind for a moment. Bugatti's silence didn't come first. The threat did. Bugatti made it clear that legal action was on the table. And once a company does that, everything changes. From that moment, there were no more public responses, no more statements, no more explanations. Because lawyers had taken over. When brands are confident, they talk. When brands are clean, they clarify. But when brands feel exposed, they go quiet. And people noticed immediately. The silence didn't calm things down. It raised suspicion. Because silence doesn't protect a reputation. It signals fear. But that wasn't even the biggest issue. People started asking a much more dangerous question. Why Matt? Other people have rebuilt Bugattis before. Water-damaged cars, flooded cars, insurance write-offs, some repaired locally, some in the United States, some never sent back to Bugatti at all. No lawsuits, no threats, no drama. So why is Matt Armstrong suddenly a problem? Because Matt doesn't rebuild quietly. He documents everything, every step, every component, every receipt, every part number. And that's where Bugatti lost control of the narrative. This rebuild wasn't just about fixing a car. It was about revealing how the car was built. And once that door opened, it couldn't be closed again. Because Bugatti has always sold a story. Fully bespoke. Designed from scratch. Nothing shared. They even claimed that engine and motor components were built specifically for each car. That no two were the same. But then the parts were shown, and the part numbers told a different story. Audi, Volkswagen. Shared components. Not rumors. Not guesses. Proof. And the moment people saw that, everything changed. This stopped being about price. It became about credibility. If Bugatti exaggerated this, what else did they exaggerate? That's when the audience reaction turned harsh. People weren't angry that the cars were expensive. They were angry that they were misled. Luxury is optional. Lying isn't. And this is where Bugatti miscalculated. Speaking made them look defensive. Staying silent made them look guilty. Blocking parts made them look anti-customer. In every scenario, Bugatti became the villain. And it became clear this wasn't about safety. If it were, other rebuilds would have been stopped too. This was about exposure. Because once people realized Bugatti cars weren't as unique as advertised, the brand mystique cracked. And when mystique cracks, value follows. That's dangerous territory for a brand built on perception. People then started asking something even more uncomfortable. If you buy a Bugatti, is it really yours? Because ownership suddenly came with condition. Repair it their way, pay their prices, or get locked out. You can spend millions and still need permission. That doesn't feel like luxury. That feels like control. Not just in Bugatti, but in the entire hypercar industry. Because if Bugatti can do this, who else is doing the same thing? Something rare happened next. People sided with the rebuilders, Matt Armstrong, Alex G. Not because they're rebels, but because they're transparent. They show the work, they show the costs, they show the truth. And suddenly Bugatti's brand, once untouchable, felt hollow. Some people even said it directly. The price didn't lose value, the brand did. And once that disappears, no amount of horsepower can bring it back. Bugatti thought silence would protect them. Instead, it confirmed everything people feared. And if Matt Armstrong completes this rebuild independently, this stops being just a YouTube video. It becomes a permanent record, a digital archive that can never be erased. Because once a manufacturer loses control of its story, it never fully gets it back. The internet doesn't forget. Part numbers don't disappear. And trust, once broken at this level, is almost impossible to rebuild. Think about what's actually happening here. Every time Matt lifts another panel, every time he removes another component, every time he films another part number, he's not just documenting a repair. He's creating evidence that can be screenshotted, archived, cross-referenced, and shared across every corner of the internet. Bugatti might send legal threats. They might refuse to sell parts. They might try to control the narrative through official channels. But they can't control what's already out there. This isn't just about one car anymore. It's about whether ultra-luxury brands can keep selling myths in an age where everything is documented, where every bolt can be traced, where every supplier can be identified, where every claim can be checked, and every lie eventually surfaces. For decades, brands like Bugatti have operated behind a carefully constructed veil of exclusivity. They controlled who could buy their cars, who could service them, who could even talk about them publicly. The mystique was the product, the inaccessibility was the marketing, and the secrecy was the competitive advantage. But that model is dying, because you can't maintain mystique when someone is live streaming your engineering choices. You can't claim hand-built perfection when independent mechanics are finding cost-cut components. You can't justify million-dollar price tags when the internet is calculating your actual parts cost in real time. Bugatti didn't just underestimate Matt Armstrong, they underestimated transparency. They underestimated how fast information spreads when people start paying attention. They underestimated the power of a community that wants to see behind the curtain. And they underestimated how dangerous it is to threaten someone who has nothing to hide. Because Matt isn't trying to destroy Bugatti, he's just trying to fix his car. But in doing so, he's accidentally become something far more threatening than a critic. He's become a primary source, an unfiltered, uncontrolled, unstoppable source of information that Bugatti never intended the public to have. Every video he uploads is another crack in the facade. Every part he sources independently is proof the system can be bypassed. Every problem he solves without factory support is evidence that the exclusivity was always artificial. And here's what makes this truly irreversible. Once the information is out there, it multiplies. Other mechanics will use his findings. Other owners will reference his videos. Other creators will build on his work. The knowledge spreads exponentially, far beyond Bugatti's ability to contain it. Because if this rebuild reaches the finish line, it won't just expose how the car was built. It will expose how the brand was built. On mystique, on exclusivity, on controlled access. On the idea that only Bugatti could truly understand Bugatti. And once that illusion is shattered, there's no putting it back together. You can't unring that bell. You can't make people unsee what they've already witnessed. You can't make them unlearn what they've already discovered. There's no legal action, no silence, and no press statement that can undo it. Because the damage isn't to Bugatti's reputation. The damage is to their business model. The world is watching now. Not because they hate Bugatti, but because they want the truth. They want to know if the emperor is actually wearing clothes. They want to see if the world's most expensive cars are worth the world's most expensive prices. And Bugatti can't unexpose what's already been seen. They can't reclaim the narrative once it's been taken from them. They can't rebuild the mystery once the mechanics have been revealed. This is what happens when transparency collides with exclusivity. When the digital age meets old world gatekeeping. Because the internet never forgets. And the truth, once revealed, is impossible to hide again.